I'm going to walk you step by step on how to make the absolute best backyard barbecue ribs on a pellet smoker. I perfected it on the offset smoker. I want the same flavor, texture, smokiness, juiciness. As far as what rubs, recipes, tools, supplies, I'm going to put everything in the description. And the first thing you are going to need is a rack of ribs. So when it comes to ribs, my go-to is going to be the HEB Natural. Find you a sharp knife. Now let's open this up. Sometimes there will be a flap of meat that will flap over. Just trim that off. This side isn't going to actually cook out really well, so I will square this up. I'm going to take a butter knife and just follow it alongside that bone. If I can't get all the membrane up, I'm not worried about that. Anything's better than nothing. See how there's a little bit more membrane on here? Don't really care if that's the case. I can come in here. I can just score that up. Now, before I apply the actual rub, I am going to inject. I have here 1 cup of water. I'm going to take LC's Butthurt. This is a pork injection, and I have about 1/4 cup. Put that in. Now I'm going to add about 1 tablespoon of barbecue phosphates. Then whatever your favorite all-purpose rub is, this one is LC's Rawhide. I'm going to add in 1 tablespoon. Just going to give this a good stir. Just going to start in at the end. Now this can get a little messy. As much injection as the ribs will take, I will give. Your favorite rib rub is going to be what's key here. So the ones I'm going to be using is a very light dusting of LC's Rawhide. And then I'm going to do the main rub as Uncle Steve's Magic Ribs. It's, woo. So we're starting off very light dusting of the all-purpose. Very good. And then we are going to follow that up with the Magic Ribs. You could tell this was crafted by competition pit masters because, I mean, it just packs so much flavor. I'm going to flip this over. Very light with the AP. We're going to go heavy on the Magic. This side's nice and meaty, so I'll just lift that up. Probably a little on this side as well. The trick with making the rub really, really come out is giving about 45 minutes for that rub just to sit on top, and you're almost going to get this really damp, wet look. And once you see that, that's a pretty good indicator that the rub did its job, and then it's ready for the smoker. Don't rush this part, all right? You hear? Don't rush it. I'm contractually obligated to tell you the best smoker for this job is going to be the Pit Boss Competition Series Titan. Nah, I'm only kidding. The main key with this one is the temperature is going to be 275 degrees Fahrenheit. So to replicate the offset, I have some cherry pellets. These are by Smoky Woods. And then in between, I have some oak chips, some pecan, and some cherry. Take some pellets. Drop them in. I'm going to take some cherry wood chips, drop those in, go back to the pellets. Then I'll switch it up. Now this does make a mess. Maybe I can get like a big funnel. So now I can put some pecan in, back to some pellets. Now we're going to go oak chips. Now back to pellets, cherry. Maybe we can get a few more of the pecan in. Good, shake as much as we can. That will kind of help drop everything down. And then just a few more pellets in here. There is our smoke tube. At this time, I'm gonna fire up the pellet smoker. Now, if some spill out, totally okay. If we look at the ribs right now, look how wet these ribs look. This is the perfect sign to know that that rub did its job. I want to take more of your pork rub, and I'm just going to light dusting on top. Very, very light. And now let's get these onto the smoker. Just going to light these pellets. All right, I'm going to blow it out. A trick, if it's not going out, what I like doing is blowing it out and closing the lid. There we go. All right. Set them just pretty much right down here. All right, we're going to close it up and check back in about 30 minutes. Breathe that smoke in. It's been 30 minutes. You're going to see that a lot of that liquid has start drying up. So now we're just going to introduce a little moisture. Not much, just a little bit, and we'll let it go for another 30 minutes. All right, it's been another half hour. Time for another spritz down. You'll start seeing a little pullback, which is good. We're just going to spritz the top. Another half hour in the smoke. We are home stretch, about 5 more minutes left for them to bathe in smoke. And then we are going to wrap them. What we're going to need is 2 sticks of unsalted butter from the top down. You can push out the back with your thumbs. And what this does is it lays down these really nice pats of butter like that. Turn it around, push it out. Whoop. All right, now we're going to take some honey. Drizzle that on. And we're going to take some brown sugar. All right, it's been a half hour. Gonna lift this up. Ooh, man, that is looking good. I'm seeing more pullback here. You're just gonna spritz this down. You definitely want to have the cotton glove liners on because when we pull this off, oh man, that rib is gonna be really hot right now. So I'm pulling out, look at all that juice in there. That is absolutely beautiful. I'm going to place this meat side down. So we want this resting on top of the butter. We're gonna get some honey down. We're going to get some brown sugar on top of that. Now, what was left over in the injection, I mixed about 10% of that with about 90% water. So I'm just going to pour this around the sides. Now I'm going to take some aluminum foil. All right. Now back on the smoker for 1 more hour. Now let's talk about barbecue sauce and then making your own glaze for the ribs. The barbecue sauce I'm going to be using, it's by Gabrix and it's called Candy Jalapeno. I'm also going to be incorporating some Texas pepper jelly. This is their rib candy. This is the apple cherry habanero. Really not going to be that spicy at all. So I'm going to start with the barbecue sauce. If your barbecue sauce is thick, you can dilute it with a little Dr. Pepper, Coca-Cola, just a little bit. You're just trying to thin it out a little bit. I have 1/3 cup that I'm going to use for the barbecue sauce. I'm going to put that in there. Now I'm going to put in 1 tablespoon of the rib candy. See how it's very, very light, not really thick. I'm going to bring this inside, turn the burners on low. I just want to bring this up room temperature, a little warmer than that. That's totally fine. But I definitely don't want to coat these ribs cold, and we'll tune back in when it's time to glaze these ribs. This is where the fun begins. All right, here we go. Get this down right here. I have about 1/3 of a cup, and I just want to take this rib au jus and just put it in to our rib glaze. Full of flavor in there. This is going to be warm sauce going on these warm ribs right now. I'm come in here to sauce these ribs up. And look how light that glaze is. Anything but thick. And this gives it almost this candy glaze-like appearance when they're said and done. That is absolutely wonderful. You can see here, look at all that pullback up in there. You'll know your glaze is set when you touch it with your fingertip and the barbecue sauce doesn't come off on your finger. And then the most important thing is you do want to let it rest for a minimum of about 15 minutes. Oh, yeah. All right, moment of truth. You guys want to see this? All right, what do you think, guys? Does that look good? All right, they are done resting. Time to dig in. We're talking a next level glaze. We have the smoke ring built in there. Look at that. Oh, man. All right, here we go. You want to make sure I don't have barbecue sauce all over my face. You have to give this a try. Seriously. I will put as much detailed recipe notes as I can in the description so you can follow along step by step. Let me know in the comment section once you do. I brought you one of my best rib recipes. All I ask, like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. All right.